Welcome to Couch Conversations, the space where real talk meets God talk.
We're two best friends who love Jesus, deep convos, and a whole lot of laughs.
From relationships and faith to the messy middle of adulting, we're chatting about it all right here on the couch.
So grab your snacks, get cozy, and let's get into it. This is Couch Conversations.
Hey, cousins, welcome back to another episode of Couch Conversations. We're your hosts, Kelsey
And Deja.
and for this episode, we will be having a very heavy discussion centered around grief. So we just want to let y'all know that this is a safe space. So for this conversation, grab your wine or whatever you'll be drinking, grab some tissue in case you'll need it, and let's get comfortable and have this conversation.
Let's get into it.
All right. So, grief.
Grief, that ugly monster.
Yes, very ugly. And I'm sure that we've all experienced grief in some capacity, whether it's been like a loved one, whether it's been someone, maybe someone that you may not be directly close with, but you just know of them, maybe. But we've all experienced somehow, some way.
Right.
And like you said, it is a very ugly, hideous, horrendous monster.
The one that be under your bed at night. And
The boogeyman.
boogeyman.
It is. And dealing with grief can be very scary.
Very.
Because it's something that you never really heal from. It's something that you kind of just learn to, I don't want to say deal with, but you learn how to navigate life
Yeah.
while dealing with grief. And it's a up and down roller coaster.
For sure.
It's never going to be like every day. It's not going to be a good day. You're going to have your bad days, whether it's something like you see that reminds you of them, whether it's a scent, whether it's a song, whether it's a book. Maybe it's just somebody you see walking down the street who may look like them, or they may say something that they used to say, or just anything like that. Or even just a name could really
trigger something.
Yeah. So we've both experienced grief very closely, family related to be exact. And I think we've both been we've both been friends during those times.
Yeah.
And it's heavy. Like a thief in the night.
Okay, the tears trying to well up already. Oh my gosh. Oh, let me take a sip.
So I've experienced the loss of my grandmother. We used to call her mommy. She passed in 2017. I also experienced the loss of two uncles. One I want to say he was 22. No, January of 22. Also another uncle in July of
22.
Yeah, July of 22, and then also my father in October 23. So that's a lot of back to back right there. That's a lot. So,
and it's like it's always seemed like when you try to navigate through one, another one comes back around. And for me, I feel like I've been experiencing loss like all my life. Like when I would say around, I think I was about like 10 or 11. My mom's father passed away, and then a couple of months later, her great grandmother, my Ruth Naomi, that was my girl. Every Saturday we would go to Darlington to her house, and most of the times my mom would make cinnamon rolls on a Saturday morning, so we can go to my grandma's house and spend the day with her. That was my girl, like diva. And then my grandmother's sister passed. We call her aunt sister. She passed. Then fast forward, 2019, I lost my baby. And then in 2020, we lost my mom's sister, but it was week after she died when we found out that she died. And
Mm-hmm.
the day that we found out that
Here
she
in
died,
Charlotte, right?
yep,
Yep.
she passed here in
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte. And the day that we found out that she died, and like I said, she already had passed like a week prior, but we didn't find out till afterwards. But the day that we found out, my great grandfather passed. So having two funerals, like within a weekend. And then the following year, my older cousin, he passed away suddenly from a heart attack. And then a couple of months later, my grandmother decided that she wanted to leave this earth. Well, she didn't decide, but
She had the audacity.
she had the audacity to leave this earth. And grief is inevitable. Like, we're not meant to live forever, even though some people, you just feel like in your head that they are supposed to live forever, like they're not supposed to die. But it's inevitable. But when it happens, it's like a slap in the face. It's like wow, like it really had to happen. And like I said, like I've experienced grief and loss, like majority of my life. But the two that hit me the most was, my baby, but my grandmother. Like, I don't know, like it's coming up on 4 years. And that is a death that
I don't wish nobody.
I don't wish on anybody, especially if you have that relationship with your grandmother. If anybody knows me, they know my grandmothers are my world. Like, when I was a kid, I want to go to my grandma's house. Like, I don't want to stay with my mom and dad. I want to go to my grandma's house. So when she died, it was like
because you was just at her house the night before.
The night before, I was. So a little backstory. My grandmother. Oh my god, that was my twin. I look just like my grandmother. Like her spitting image. Like, people used to think like I came out of her. But my grandmother was sick for a long time, and she didn't tell us. And this was actually during the time me and you were going to look at apartments because we were going to move in together. And my daddy called me. We were at an apartment looking. My daddy called me, and he was upset because he found papers that basically kind of broke down that my grandmother was sick. She had kidney disease. And it wasn't nothing that just popped up.
Right.
She had it for a long time, and she didn't say anything. And she wouldn't have said anything unless my dad, like, if he didn't find those papers, we would not have known. So they, my people always call me because I must be like the enforcer in that family, like, because I'm a fuss. So I called her and I was fussing at her. I said, "Now, why you ain't say nothing? Why would you sit there and go through all that and not tell us anything?" Mind you, I talked to my grandma a lot. Like, I would go home, I need to go see my grandma. She'll call me. Or she'll be like, "I don't know if I could call you because girl, if you don't call me," but I'll call my grandma. So we talked a lot. So it wasn't like no time in between that we not talking. So to know that she went all that time without saying anything. And so, she was on dialysis for a little while. She always would tell me, she'd be like, "Baby girl," or she'd call me booty gal. She'd be like, "I don't want to be on a machine the rest of my life." And because you have to do it every day.
Yeah.
And she was like, "I'm tired." And I'm like, "Girl, you fine. You fine. We gonna get through this." So this particular time, it was October, because I remember I just got my locks. And I randomly went home. And I was like, let me just go home. I still to this day do not know why I decided to go home. I just picked up and I was like, I'm gonna go home. So I went, to go see her and, help my dad with like her dialysis and stuff like that. And, she was like, "Oh, but girl, I love your hair." Oh, no, I didn't think she was gonna like it. But she liked it or whatnot. So we stayed there, for a little bit talking to her. And then this time she wasn't eating a lot. Well, she never ate a lot anyway. But she asked me to go heat up her food from earlier that she didn't touch, and she bit into the breadstick, and that's all she ate. And so we was talking and stuff, and anybody who knew my grandma, she was a little spitfire. Like, that's where I get my personality from. And she was fussing at her sister. I was like, stop being mean to that lady. And so she was like, she just get on my nerve. I'm like, grandma, please. So me and my daddy always be cracking up because my grandma, she would say stuff wrong. But it would be so funny how she said it. So we was in there cracking up, and my daddy left. And so her and my other aunt came in her room, and they was talking, and they were talking about they wanted to move or whatnot. So my friend Jasmine, she was telling me about her landlord from before, and he had a property, open. So we was making plans for me to pick them up the next morning to take them to go see it. We talked to the man. And the man, they was talking about scriptures. The man prayed on the phone. They started singing Amazing Grace. Now, my grandma was the type, she was in church. She wasn't going to say nothing. She ain't singing nothing. She ain't nothing. She got her Bible. She listening. She ain't singing. My grandma sung so loud that night. And me and my aunt, we just looked. We was like in the moment, we ain't thinking nothing of it. But I'm still looking at her like, God, you won't do this. You don't do this. So, we talking and whatnot. So it was getting late. So I was like, well, grandma, what time you want me to come get you in the morning? I was like, we can go get breakfast and we'll go, out. And so she was like, well, baby girl, anytime you want to come, I'll be up. So I said, okay. So walk out, give her a hug and kiss like I always do. And, she said, I love you, baby girl. I was like, I love you too. I'll see you in the morning. And so I remember her standing. Oh, God. I remember her standing in her little pink robe, and she watched me at the door. And she said, all right, you get home safe now. So I get home. Cause she don't think nothing of it. I'm seeing my grandma in the morning. So next morning I call her because got Kayla on her bed to go to her adult daycare. And I called her. And one thing, my grandma did not answer her cell phone. So I'm fussing. I said, now she know I'm coming to get her. And I told her I'm going to call her. She ain't answer. Called about 2 or 3 times. She ain't answer. I said, I'm going to get her. So I called the house phone. Nobody answers. So I called again.
And she usually would answer the house phone?
So she was saying it was her and her 3 sisters that were staying in there. So I was like, somebody going to answer the phone. So the second time I called, my aunt picked up. And at first I ain't paid no attention to it. But she was like, hello. Like, it sounded like, how somebody just roll out of bed or whatnot. She was like, hello. I was like, Aunt Donnie, where's my grandma? I tried to call her phone and she didn't answer the phone. And so she broke down crying. And she was like, Deja, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you sorry for?
Yeah.
And she was like, your grandma is gone. She not waking up. And it felt like somebody ripped my heart out of my chest. All I could do was scream at the top of my lungs. So my mama is walking in. So she looking at me crazy like, what is wrong with you? Why is she screaming? And I was like, my grandma. And so she picks up my phone and she hear them in the background, and my aunt tell her. And so she hollering. And so I was like, I got to go tell my daddy. Mind you, my daddy worked all the way in Dillon like 45 minutes from Florence. So I'm hollering. I can't stop yelling. Like, it felt like that was the only way I could let out my pain, my hurt. And so, like, we driving, and my mama called my daddy's job and called his supervisor and just like, hey, Macer's mom passed. We're coming up there. I don't need you to tell him, but I need you to bring him out. So, we get there, and I'm hollering the whole way. My mom was like, you need to get it together. I'm like, I'm trying. What you trying to do? I'm like, I can't. So, we get there, and my daddy a big man. Like, he ain't like big, like my 600-pound, like, but he a sturdy man. So he comes out, and of course, it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. So he sees me. So he like, what's wrong? Like, are you good? Like, what's wrong with you? And so he thought it was my grandfather. He didn't think it was my grandmother. And I was like, Daddy. And when he heard me say Daddy, he was like, no, don't tell me my mama's gone. And I was like, Daddy. And he broke down and fell to his knees. And I don't know how in the world I held him up. Because my daddy is taller than me. And he a sturdy man. And my daddy broke down. If he could break that hard head, he probably could the way he threw it down. But he was trying to like leave. And I'm like, no, I'll drive, man. I ain't no good. But I'm like, I'm not gonna let him drive. I was able to get it out a little bit.
Right.
So he in the truck, and he feeling it because that's his mama. My daddy was a mama's boy for sure. Like, we love the lady. So we driving, so we get to the house because the coroner's there and whatnot. And I go in the house before my daddy. I go in the house, and my grandma's still in the bed. She laying so peaceful. She was reading a book. That's one thing she always did, was read a book before she went to sleep. So the book was still like up and stuff like that. And sometimes when you're grieving, you do the weirdest things. So I'm telling her, I'm like, Grandma, wake up.
Right.
Because I'm like, they're lying to me. Like, you lying, y'all know like what y'all talking about. Like, she's good. She just in a deep sleep. Like, your mind plays tricks on you in those moments. So I'm literally like, Grandma, wake up. Like, wake up. She was so cold, Kelsey. And I don't like dead bodies. That's one thing I do not do is dead bodies. I had a dream when I was younger when my uncle passed. And I had a dream that he popped up out his casket. And ever since then, yeah, where about me? But I was like, Grandma, wake up. I was like, it's okay, wake up. Like, talking to her, and she would not wake up. And the tears just came again because I'm like, she's really like not waking up. Like, it was becoming too much of a reality for me. And like I said, I don't do dead bodies, but I'm like touching her, like trying to wake her up. I'm like kissing her face. I'm like, please just wake up for me. I was like, please don't leave me. Like, don't leave me. Like, please wake up. And golly. And she wouldn't wake up. And then my daddy saw her. And, he just grabbed onto her. He was just like, Mama, like, he was like, my mama, like, really gone. And it's like, I had to just leave. Like, I was like, and then seeing the coroner bring her out, it's like, oh my gosh. And in my head, I was going through so many emotions. I was angry. I was sad. I was like, how didn't I know? Like, maybe I could have saved her. Like, maybe it was because she died from a massive heart attack. And I'm guessing it's, due to her kidney disease and stuff like that. But I was just like, it was just so much going on in my head. Like, I could save her. Like, I was God. Like, if I was in the midst, she would still be alive because maybe I could have gotten her to the hospital. Maybe an ambulance could have come. And I was just like, I was the last person to see her. And I'm glad. I was like, I kept saying, I was like, I wasn't even supposed to be here. I wasn't even supposed to like come here. But I was able to see her. But it's still so hard being that last person because you're just like, what did I miss? What didn't I catch? Like, she didn't eat, but I was like, it was just from her with her treatment and stuff like that. But it's just a constant thing. Like, and even now, 4 years later, still sometimes in my head, I'm just like, what did I miss that night that probably could have changed the outcome of it? Like I said, your mind just play tricks on you a whole lot. And remember the pink robe I said? That was something that I took after she died. And people might look at me crazy when I say this. I told my daddy like this a little bit last year. So I remember that 4 years ago. I have not brought myself to wash that robe. And every time I try, it'd be like, no, I'm washing her away. Because it has her scent on it. It smells just like her. And it's the closest thing that I have that makes it feel like she's here. Like I will put on her robe and smell it because it's like, it was like my comfort thing. You know, like how some babies, they have like their blankie that they won't get rid of. That's what that robe was like for me. And I'm like, you know, people might think you crazy for stuff like that, but when you have such an attachment to a person and that's all you have, it's like, ooh, ooh, I was not supposed to cry. I get so emotional when I talk about her.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I think also, like, I feel like there's levels to, of course, there's like the stages of grief, right? But there's also levels to how you express that grief depending on like your closeness to that person as well.
For sure.
So I'll start with my grandmother. We call her mommy. 'Cause I think there was like a story she used to tell her kids, like, don't call me something. It was something. And I think it also trickled down to my cousin. She was like, don't call me grandma. It was some story. So mommy just stick. So everybody calls her mommy.
Yeah.
Or Miss Lorena. But so she had Alzheimer's, and I feel like she had that most of my life. Or at least from what I can remember, because I can barely remember myself at 5. But she had Alzheimer's for a good little minute. Because you know, with that disease, like the life expectancy and progression varies from person to person.
Yeah.
But most of the time the symptoms and things that they do is very similar, which is crazy. But
and I've been seeing that, like, that's why I would always ask you, like, what did you see? Because seeing that with my mom's mom, so it's like,
yep. But so 2017, it was April. We were in undergrad. I think it was like Easter break or something like that. And we decided to stop by the nail salon. And it took forever at that nail salon.
Was that the one we went to at James Island? Was it that one?
Or was it the one like in Somerville or something like that? I think they only had like 1 or 2 people working.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And so I get home. So we both like drove our separate cars. So of course we go into our separate places. So I get home and I'm pulling up. I'm driving down the street because the way my mom's house is set up, or my house as well, is that like our house faces like a street. So there's like a street light, almost like a T. That's the best way to explain it. So I'm coming down the road or driving up the street, whatever, and I see my aunt's truck. She's from Virginia, or she lives in Virginia. I see her truck. I was like, that's weird. She doesn't usually come home for Easter.
Right.
I was like, okay. And it's on a Friday. And if she comes in like for town for like a holiday or something, she usually comes in on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe she just decided to come in early. So I'm just driving. I get to the stop sign and I pull into the yard. I was like, I see my cousin's friend car there too. I was like, well, why is she here? Well, sometimes she pops up too just to come talk to Toby or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool.
Not thinking about what it really is
at all. But I'm like, this is weird, but okay. So I pull into the yard, and then I see my cousin Keel's car. I was like, okay, she's here because she works for the school district, so they're probably off or whatever. Because it is Good Friday.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, she's just here early. That's nothing new. So I wasn't really weird out about her being there.
Yeah.
So I walk in the house, and my cousin Toby and her friend are sitting at the kitchen table, and they're like, hey, Kelsey. I'm like, hey. And so then my mom comes to the door, which she usually greets me or something like that. But she's like kind of rushing to the door, and she was like, oh gosh. She was like she was like, come here, Kelsey. So we go in her bedroom. I think my cousin Keel followed her as well, followed us. And she was like, mommy passed away. And like in movies where people, this is probably gonna be dramatic, but like when people like drop their stuff like in disbelief, they just whatever. I literally like just dropped my stuff and just started crying because it's just like, what you mean she gone?
Right.
And so after that, she was like, she passed away like that Thursday night. Like Wednesday, like late, like up in there.
Yeah.
So like the day before, she's like, I didn't want to tell you because you was at school and I didn't want you to be worried or anything like that. And so after she told me that, I just walked to mommy's room, which is like at the front of the house, and like the room was empty. Like the hospital bed was gone because she was bedridden. I think her other medical stuff, so like her stool and like her what else did she have? She had like the stool, the hospital bed, the wheelchair. Oh, what's the wheelchair? Wheelchair still there? That might have still been there. But like all that stuff was gone. It was just empty.
Yeah.
It was almost like
like Will.
Yes. It was almost like Will when he was just standing in the middle of the living room, just looking around. So I just stood there and I just started crying because it's just like, what the world? I thought I was coming home to see mommy, although she probably wouldn't recognize me. But although she had Alzheimer's, we still used to talk. I used to talk to her like she was my homegirl off the street or something like that. But it was just crazy. And then, but at the same time, it's like I really didn't have the chance to grieve because we're still in school. We had a paper due that evening.
We did.
For our was it public admin class?
I think so, yeah.
We had a paper due. And I wasn't finished because I hated writing. I hated writing papers. I hate it.
It was
so I was
especially when there's you have a page max and stuff you need to do.
And I was like, okay, cry right now, get it out. But I was like, I gotta get this paper done. I gotta get this submitted. So I went in the living room and was working on my paper. And I think people had already started bringing food. I'm like, well, dog, how did the word travel that fast? Y'all already bringing food? Listen. But I think it was like KFC in there. I was like,
why do people always bring KFC?
Right. I was like, I don't want KFC. It makes me sick. So I think I left the house and went and got Zaxby's, and I came back. And my aunt was, after I submit the paper, so this part was like 8 o'clock at night, maybe 7, 8 o'clock. And so my aunt was like, you didn't want KFC? There was KFC in there. No. I was like, no, it makes me sick. So she passed away. So there was just like a bunch of people just kept coming to the house because I come from like a big family. And like the Briscoes were well known in Darlington in the Howard side of the family. And so went back to Charleston because still gotta go class.
Still got to do
it. So I went into my professor that time for the public admin class. I was like, I will be out so and so days because I have to go home for my grandmother's funeral. But I did submit the paper. She was like, why didn't you tell me? I would have given you an extension. And it took everything in me like to hold it back. Like I felt the tears forming. And when I was just like getting those words out, like I have to go back home.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I did it, but I got an A on that paper. I don't know if she gave it to me because she felt bad, but I don't. Maybe it was just that good.
She was a pretty lenient professor too.
She was. Yeah, she was. I can't remember her name.
Me either.
But
I see her face.
Yeah. So I feel like I honestly, and so let me back up. So she passed in April 2017. So like at the beginning of the year, so probably around like January or something, she started not eating as much. So with like, of course, with like people who have Alzheimer's, they usually only really eat sweet things. So
and soft, mushy.
Yeah. So my mom used to give her like the banquet sweet and sour chicken dinners and stuff, and then like oatmeal for breakfast, applesauce, things like that. And so she started not eating as much because she used to clean her plate. Even when she had to, like when we had to start feeding her, she would still clean her plate. So she started not eating as much, and then eventually it got to where she wasn't using the bathroom as much
Mm.
in her diaper. And so I think the I want to say it was the nurse, because she was on hospice, and she, I guess, think it was a nurse, it might have been a caseworker, it's one of them, but came by and told mom, mind you, her vitals were fine,
Yeah.
but she told my mom, because I guess mama had told, like, she's been sleeping a lot, not really using the bathroom and all this stuff, and the lady told her that she's crashing. So my mom not thinking anything about, she just thinking like she's crashing, like she's just tired, like sleepy or
Yeah.
something. So I guess when that next day came and everything, and my grandmother had passed away, she realized what the nurse
Nurse was
meant by
saying.
crashing. She was
Yeah.
like, why didn't the nurse just say that she was dying or about to die?
Right.
And that right there, it's like, because I didn't really get to grieve.
Yeah.
So that's probably, not probably, more than likely, is something I probably should go to counseling about, grief
Mhm.
counseling to be specific. Um, because I feel like there's times where I just randomly would just start crying out of
Yeah.
nowhere, out of nowhere. Um, and then fast forward to my father, who passed away.
It's okay. It's okay. We are family here, right? Okay.
Who passed away in October 23. Um, he had gotten sick in like 2012. So
Mhm.
we were still in high school. And I think he was diagnosed at that time with like either lung cancer or brain cancer. And and I just remember, because I think it might have been my aunt who called me and told me that he was diagnosed or something. But I just remember like just plopping down on my mama's bed, and my aunt from Maryland was there, and she came and just like gave me a hug or whatever and prayed. Um then eventually he did go into remission. Yeah,
Mhm.
remission and everything. And then I want to say, I don't think in undergrad anything was going on. I mean, he was starting to walk with the cane because he did
Yeah.
come to my undergraduate graduation. And then I think was COVID time is when it really started like
Progressing.
ramping up. And I think cancer came back, maybe. I still live it. But he got COVID. He got it like really bad.
Yeah.
It was to the point where he was on life support,
Mhm.
and like it was just crazy. I think he had got pneumonia at one point, and then he started getting like UTIs, and then he was just talk about like, he just kept talking about, I'm thinking in my head, mind you, I'm not a doctor, but I know some things that are just like common
Knowledge.
knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, when a woman gets a UTI, it should be gone within a week or so,
Mhm.
especially if you take
And
medication
yeah.
for it. But and so I looked up for a man, and it said about the same thing. So I'm thinking, okay, you keep saying you have this UTI. It's been more than a week. It's been more than 2 weeks. It's been more than a month. We still saying you have a UTI.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping this to myself. Mind you, I talked about it with my mom. I was like, Mom, this don't sound right. There's no way you have a UTI this long.
That long, right?
Because that just means something else is wrong. But I don't
Mhm.
want to put that on nobody, especially I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not certified, I'm not licensed, I'm none of that. I don't want
Right.
to put that on anyone. So so she was like, yeah. And that's the whole situation itself. So I'm not gonna go deep into that.
Yeah.
But so he just kept talking about that, and then he eventually started having seizures.
Mhm.
Um and I think that's when the cancer or something started coming. Could have been triggered from like COVID and pneumonia and all this stuff. So he was in and out of the hospital for, so that was like 2020. So up until 23, he was in and out of the hospital, and it really got worse in, I want to say 21, 22.
Mhm.
So because these years are starting to run together.
They are. They really are.
Um, he was really like in and out. I don't think there was a time, there might have been a couple of times where he was not he was actually home for at least a month, maybe not even a month.
Right.
Um, because it was just getting so bad. Like like around August, I want to say, of 23. Um, so he was in a nursing home at one point, like, or not one point, but most of 23, he was in a nursing home because it had gotten so bad. And of course, my grandmother or his mother couldn't take care of him because she's older. She's in her 90s. Well, she just hit 90 last year. So she was in her 80s, late 80s. But there's not anything she can really do. So he's in there. I think they were having dinner and I think they had cabbage or something. And I guess he started choking. And so they rushed him to the hospital and they was like they found cabbage in his lungs.
Oh wow!
It was somewhere. It was somewhere it shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
So they started doing tests, and then I think he was also complaining about like blood being in his stool. So they did tests, and that's when they found out that he had prostate cancer. No, colorectal cancer.
Wow.
So in September, I was home for what is that, Labor Day?
Yes.
So I was home for Labor Day, and my aunt from Virginia was there as well. And I was debating on whether or not I should go see him. So a little backstory. Come from a single parent household. My mom raised me. Shout out to my mama.
Shout out Miss Faye.
But she raised me, and I feel like me and my father did not have like the father daughter relationship I would have liked to have, or or had. And then just some other things. So I was deciding on whether or not I wanted to go see him or just let us talking on the phone when I could understand him, when he was able to actually talk on the phone.
Right.
Let that be enough. So my mom was like, I can't tell you what to do, but you do what you feel is right because that is your father at the end of the day. So you decide what you want to do. And so my aunt was like, you should go ahead and go visit him because you don't want to have any like resentment or anything for not going to visit him.
Right.
So I thought about it and I was like, I'll go visit him. So I went there. I probably stayed there 20, 30 minutes. And we talked a little bit. Then I left. And then he did call me. I want to say it was either near his birthday or on his birthday. And I could barely make it out. And and he left a voice message because I was at work. And he said,
Take a deep breath.
he said, if I don't ever get to speak to you again, just know that I love you and that you will always be my daughter. And I think that was about it. It was like a very quick voice message. And I could barely understand what he was saying because like he was struggling to get it out.
Yeah.
Because he had like a trach in and some other things.
Yeah.
My brother Terry and I were considered power of attorneys. I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Right.
Like I've heard like when my mom did it with my grandmother, but I didn't really have like an understanding. But I just didn't know what what purpose I was serving. And
that's
I'm
a lot of responsibility.
Right. I'm all the way in Charlotte. I don't really know what's going on back home other than what I'm being told.
Right.
And even that's a whole conversation itself. But even with that, I'm just like, okay. So I'm also having to take into consideration what my grandmother, his mom, wants to do because at the end of the day, that's her son.
Right.
So so he left that voice message, and I think I tried calling him back, but he didn't answer because they probably had already taken his phone away. He might have just went to sleep or something. So fast forward to October 23, got COVID, a bad case of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hand me down, bad. I was in there trying to take out braids. I ain't never want to cut my all my hair off so bad in my life because like I had aches, I had a fever, I had chills, I was coughing really bad, I had like shortness of breath. I
You
literally
lost your
had,
smell and everything.
yes,
Yeah.
I headaches. I literally had about all the symptoms, but thank God I survived it.
Right.
Um, and so my uncle called me. He was like, "You probably want to get here because it's not looking good, or they saying your father doesn't have lung." I was like, "Well, I can't. I have COVID,
Right.
and I don't want to, for one, bring that to a nursing home. For two, I don't want to bring that around my grandmother."
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "I can't, but just FaceTime me or call me so I can at least say something to him since I can't be there like physically."
Right.
So he did that, and I said something to him, and then I hung up, and then on October, like 15th or something,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 15th is when he passed. That night around 8 is when my brother called me, and he was like, "Our father just passed," and I was just like, it's like I cried,
Mm-hmm.
but I think like we were close,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like how I'm close to my mama.
Right.
Like my mom, my home girl. That's my
Right.
best friend. That's my first best friend, like my
Right.
forever best friend. But I didn't have that same relationship with my father. Like, yes, I mourned the loss of losing a parent
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, he is my parent. We did have some type of communication, we did have some
Right.
type of relationship, but it wasn't as strong
But you
as
also mourn what wasn't that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And getting to that point, um, so this is probably like this probably like sometime this year, like late last year. I remember I was at work and I was on a break or something. I was on the phone with my mama. And I was like, considering going to grief counseling. And she asked me why. And I explained to her. And then I also was like, is it bad if I have some type of resentment towards my father?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, she asked me to explain. I told, like I just said, I feel like I
Mm-mm.
didn't really have that father daughter relationship that I've seen like some old friends have with their father.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to hear my friends sitting at the table talking about what they them and like what they did with their father and all
Yeah.
this stuff like that. And I'm sitting here like can't relate.
Right.
But I will listen to your conversation, but I don't have anything
And
to add
right.
because I don't have that relationship. And she was like, no. And so um I think that's one reason why it didn't like break me,
Mm-hmm.
but I do still like sometimes will cry about it like very briefly.
Yeah.
Um because it's just the thought, or not the thought, the reality of losing a parent at
Yeah.
such a young age,
Mm-hmm.
because I was, so in 23 I was 27.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the thought of like, dang, I'm 27. Here we go again. Like he won't get to see me walk down the aisle one day,
Yeah.
won't get to see me like have like bring children to the world, none of that.
Right.
Well, he won't be able to see it like in the physical form,
Right.
but he just won't be able to get to have that experience.
Right.
So it's just like a lot of, and this may sound selfish, but it's just like a lot of things I'm not gonna be able to have that experience with him.
Yeah.
Um, but also with him, I kind of knew like it was coming. I
Mm-hmm.
had told, I might have told my mama this. I can't remember. I probably just kept it to myself because I don't want people to be thinking I'm weird. But like early in that year, I told myself, oh, I knew like he's not gonna make it through the year,
Yeah.
just because of like some of the things he was going through, some of the like constantly like in and out of the hospital
Yeah.
and in and out of the nursing home, having more seizures, blood in the stool and trachs, ventilators. all this,
All the signs.
yes, all this stuff that's just trying to keep him alive,
Mm-hmm.
where to the point where he's not able to do things on his own, that he's having to depend on machines.
Right.
So I already knew he was going to make it through the year.
Right.
But grief is,
It's an ugly monster that rears his head. And a lot of people have the misconception that grief heals over time. But one thing about grief is it's something that you live with for the rest of your life, because it's like it doesn't go away. You don't forget those people. It's always there. It's always going to be something that reminds you of it. Yeah, you may be able to handle it better like as time goes on, but it never goes away because you're always wondering like what life would be like if they were here. Like you said, you're not gonna have your father walk you down the aisle or see your kids. And that was one thing that I thought about with my grandmother. Like, yes, I have my parents, but like that's something I always imagine. Like, I even tell my fiance now, like, I wish you had the opportunity to meet my grandmother. I wish you're able to see her and experience her like I did, um, or whatnot. But you just think about all of what you miss when they're not here um anymore. And it may be selfish, but we all envision our lives to look a certain way, and we envision certain people to be there to experience all those milestones with us, or those people that like we call on when we're going through something, or you just think like, what would such and such do like during this time? Like, I remember I caught myself trying to call my grandmother for something. I think when I got into that doula program, mind you, it's almost 4 years. That was last December I got into the program. I caught myself wanting to call my grandmother and tell her about it. And that's a painful thing when you want to call somebody, like, oh wait, they ain't gonna pick up the phone. And you do stuff like you listen to voicemails that they send you, and you find anything that you can that will allow you to hear something from them, feel something from them. So it's never anything that you get over. And I hate when people say like, you'll get over it, this too shall pass. And
or like, why are you acting like that?
why are you acting like that?
You
Like,
can't tell me how to grieve. Just because you may grieve one way does not mean I'm gonna grieve that way. That doesn't mean the next person is.
right.
Everyone handles situations differently.
Mhm.
One way is not the only way.
Right. And we all different. When our dynamics are different, our connections are different. And so I never, and I know sometimes in those moments, people don't know what to say. Like, and sometimes it's okay to not say anything, because sometimes the words that you say, it can make it worse. So it's okay to sit in silence. It's okay to offer your prayers and let that be. But like I said, grief is such a ugly monster, and I hate it. And anytime someone close to me passes away, I get like a wave of anxiety. And I suffer from anxiety. And after my grandmother passed,
It got worse.
my anxiety got so bad. Like, so bad. I had to get on medicine because I don't know. Like, it just took a hold of me. And that's like we said, grief looks different on everybody. Like, it may cause you to have things happen to you that probably not have happened to you in the past. And it's just so much, and nobody knows how to get through it. Like, there's no handbook to grief. Like, yeah, there's the stages of grief or whatnot that we have, and that's all good and well, but there's no handbook that tells you if you do these steps, you will grieve no longer. Like, it's no manual for that. And it's the it's the difficult part of life. Like, even when you think about like your parents have to leave you one day, and it's like what am I supposed to do? Like,
Especially when they're aging.
when they're aging.
That's the scary part. I mean, although somebody can be taken away from you regardless of their age, but just thinking about like aging parents.
And when
Then,
you see the differences in them, like this past April, when my dad had his heart attack, that took a blow to me. And meaning that his mom passed from a heart attack. You know, when I talked to you, I was just like, I don't know, like that just took, and you know, he's still here, and I don't want to sound like, selfish, but it was a scary feeling
of
because
course,
it's like, whoa, like my daddy ain't nothing ever, like, like you said, age, like when you see them aging and the changes, like my dad started, having like sicknesses and stuff, like, yeah, we was in college the first time he was hospitalized. But before then, my dad never been in the hospital. Like if he been sick, it's been a cold, and then he get over it. Like it's never been anything serious, like
right.
surgeries and all this stuff. But him having that heart attack, it just like it makes like life flash before your eyes.
It's like, wow, it's just like a what the world.
Like what the world? Like what is going on? And I had talked to him earlier that day, and so that's just how quick things happen, and like things change in an instant. But that was like you already know my anxiety was on 1,000, and trying to get there, my fiance, he drove me down.
That's why I called you, because I was like, I already know. I know she got Dre there, but she's still my best friend. Let me.
And she called me. She did. And I needed that because Kelsey is one person that, like, when I'm on like 1,000, she can get me on the woosah. Like, it's all right. You can feel like what you're feeling, but let's like bring it down. Let's like do this or whatnot. But like my fiance was driving, I feel like I was pressing the gas pedal and the side seat because your mind just go through like so much.
It's
and it's
like
just,
I need to get there now. This is taking too long.
like if I could snap my fingers and be there, like we would have been there. But it's so scary, and like you said, like when your parents aging. And it's like they're not getting any younger. And I remember my mama tried to have, the conversations with me about like insurance and her wishes. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about that because that makes it too real for me. And it's like I said, you always, like certain people, like when you think about life, they supposed to be there forever. Like they're not supposed to go away. So I know you close with your mom. I'm close with my parents. Listen, my grandma took me out, okay? And that's still hard. My parents, I just sometimes like that thought randomly comes to my mind and it scares me so bad. It scares me so bad. I think about like my sister, a lot of people know she's special needs. And I just think about her. Like, I always know, like, whenever that time comes to my parents, I'm taking care of her. Like, there's no question. Like, she's not going in nobody's home. As long as I'm living and breathing and capable,
she will be with
she's going to be with me. But she's a sensitive soul. Like, she really is. And that girl, she love our parents. But when it comes to my mama, they be going at it. But if she comes stay with me, she in like a mood because she want to be with her mama. So when I think about not only me, but having those conversations with her, and a lot of people think because she's special needs that she may not feel, or she may not understand. She knows a lot more than what people give her credit for. You know what I'm saying? So just thinking about that, and then I go further and I think about if something happens to me and my parents are gone, what's going to happen to her? Or then I think about this one that really gets me. I don't want to bury my sister. There's been so many times that, golly, so many times that we've almost lost her. She's not supposed to be here. She's really not. But I really think about like I don't want to die no time soon. Then no, Lord. But I'm like, I don't know if I could handle it.
Right.
Like, I really couldn't. Like, me and my sister go back and forth. She be mean as I don't know what to me, but my sister love me, and I love her. But that's one I think about. You know, as overthinkers, you think about all the scenarios, and all the things
You
like
putting things that ain't even supposed to be
ain't
there.
even supposed to be. But sometimes I thought about like I couldn't handle that, and if I leave before her, I think about what is that gonna do to her, and I think about how I feel with grief, and it's like, oh,
It's a lot.
it is a lot.
It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to digest. It's just a lot. And I feel like until you really experience it, you really don't know.
Right.
Because no one is excluded from feeling it.
No.
It's just
I don't care if it's a puppy dog you lose.
right.
If Chloe died today, I'll be in shambles. You hear me? You remember that time? You remember that time her legs stopped working? I was in shambles, y'all. I thought my dog was about to die. I was in shambles. I was looking at wheelchairs for her. And you know, Google is gonna tell you like, please don't search Google when there's an issue. But Google was telling me my dog was gonna die in the next couple of weeks.
Like you can search on Google, like, "Hey, I got a headache," and Google be telling you you got a aneurysm and all, or something.
Listen,
for a mild
and
headache,
you know, I be having migraines, so I be like, Lord, please heal it. But yeah, like I don't care if it's a puppy dog, a fish, or a person. Like you're going to experience grief in some form or fashion, and don't ever feel like you have to get over it or like you grieving too long or anything. Like nobody can tell you how to grieve things and people that you love. Like they just can't.
or even if they lost the same person, they can't tell you how to feel,
Right.
how to go about grieving, how to do this, how to do that. Because what they do, it don't have nothing to do with me.
Nothing.
If you happy as soon as you walk out the funeral home or the church or wherever after the service, that's you.
That's you.
If I want to walk out of here hollering, legs, knees buckling,
laid out,
like drag me across the floor, just that's fine. That's me. That is how I want to grieve, and that is okay. Because like we said, there is no one way to feel. There's no one size fits all grieving process at all. And like you said, it's never going to go away.
No.
It's something that you just learn how to, what did I say earlier? Not deal with it, because
cope with it.
Cope. Yeah, you just learn how to maneuver, navigate life while also adding on that extra layer. And like we said, it's not pretty.
It's the extra
easy.
brick in your life.
Yes.
It's the extra brick that just kind of makes you who you are. It kind of molds who you are. And you know, another thing, another type of grief, and you kind of brought it up when talking about mommy, is the type of grief where you're grieving somebody every day. Before the death comes, you grieve a piece of them every day. Specifically, like talking about people with Alzheimer's and dementia. Because you're losing a piece of them every day. They're never the same. And it's like, then you're always on eggshells. Like, is this today? Like, they breathe wrong. You like, you good? Like, what's going on?
Or they sleep extra
extra long.
Not knowing it's just because maybe it's sundown or something
right. Like, but in your head, like, you know, that's currently like what we're dealing with my grandmother who has dementia. And she, all the things. And so this Sunday, my mom called me yesterday and she was like, she wants to have Sunday dinner with all the grandkids. and stuff, and she wants everybody to be there because she's just like, she's changing too much. So I'm going like the other day, the nurse came and she lost some of her body mass index, and when they say stuff like that, she hasn't been eating, and my mom's been worried because like she don't eat, she don't drink. Like she had a whole bottle of water. So yesterday, my mom called me. There's a bottle of water on the chair that she had from yesterday, and only probably this much was out of the water. And you see it, and sometimes you be trying to lie to yourself, just like maybe she just ain't feeling it today.
Right.
Like
Maybe she's not thirsty.
yeah,
Or maybe
not.
she forgot it's right
Maybe she
there.
forgot that it's right there, but nah. But you see the things of okay, if I hand you a spoon, you don't know what to do with it. You don't know how to feed yourself, or especially somebody you've seen independent their whole life, like all your life, like they doing all their own, like that's how you know, like that's. But when you have to transition to you feeding them, you clothing them, you washing them, like you grieve a piece of it, and then you see like more and more, like before it was like somewhere like you understand the words, but the sentences don't make sense. Now you don't understand nothing. It's just like mumbling. So it's like that's another piece of you that's going like every day. It's a constant loss each and every day, and then it's like, okay, what do you do when it gets to that point? It's like it's been a 5-year process. Well, I mean, it's pretty sure it's been longer than that, but
diagnosed.
Yeah, yeah.
I think when it gets to that point, and I can't say that I relate because I feel like for most of my life, I only knew mommy for dementia mommy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's times before that where it was I don't know. I know it was before I was 9.
Yeah.
But she's had Alzheimer's. It was a little before that. So I only knew dementia mommy.
Yeah.
So it's like when sitting at the table, like around Thanksgiving or Christmas or something, my family is talking about things that mommy used to do. It's just like, well, I can't relate. I didn't
Yeah.
experience that side of mommy. I didn't experience that mommy.
Yeah.
I only experienced dementia mommy, and the one forgetting who you are, calling you
Mm-hmm.
somebody else, or talking about her siblings, um, or talking about she want to go home when she's already
Home.
home.
Yeah.
So that's the only mommy I know. So I can't relate with you where you've known like your grandmother without Alzheimer's and
Mm-hmm.
dementia. But when it gets to that point, and you'll know, because you'll start picking up on the signs. Um, but it's just like you just try to spend as much time as you can, which you already do, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like at that point you just spend as much time as you can
Right.
with them. And the unfortunate reality is that once you're at that point, it means it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Don't know when. It could be another year or so, whatever, but it's just like they're reaching the end of their road,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Alzheimer's is just it's an ugly
Disease.
disease. Um, but it's an unfortunate thing that you don't wish upon no one.
Mm-mm.
And again, like I said, like some people can only have it for a couple of years and they're gone, um, diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some people can have it for
For
years
years. Yeah.
and just progress slowly. But mm, grief, man, because like you said, it's like you're grieving someone you used to know. Like they haven't passed yet, but you're just grieving a loss of a person
Person.
that you knew. That's almost like grieving a relationship, grieving a
Mm-hmm.
friendship, grieving the loss of a job,
Yeah.
grieving, I don't know, just
Yeah.
anything.
Grieving is just loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just it's hard.
It is. It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It really is difficult. It's like I don't know. It have you wondering like I don't know. I don't know. It just makes you have so many questions
Mm-hmm.
about things, and it's something you don't want to feel. Like you don't want to feel that. But I guess if you look at the opposite side of it, I feel like grieving allow us to cherish those that we have a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more because you know that, like I've been saying, a lot recently, that life is so fragile,
Mm-hmm.
and at any time you can lose someone. So it's like,
And it doesn't have to be from a disease. It can just be anything. It could be
you know,
from a car accident, like knock on wood,
mhm,
but it could just a
anything.
bug bite that you may not know that you're allergic to, and you just
You just
go
don't.
into shock.
You're
What,
right.
anaphylactic shock, or how
Hmm.
you pronounce it? Just
It happens suddenly sometimes. Sometimes it's expected, and sometimes it
mm-hmm.
happens suddenly out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
And to a person that you wouldn't even think
It's just like you were supposed to live forever,
you were supposed to live forever.
but now you want to up and leave me.
You want to up and leave me. Why would you do that?
Like, right? You have the
The
audacity to leave me,
audacity. Now, what
and
I'm
you
supposed to do
expect me to be able to survive on this earth without you?
without you?
Like,
Like,
come on now. What? Where we do that
where we
at?
do that at? Like, why would you do that?
Right.
Out of all the things you could have done, you want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to find humor and grief, but it's just like,
Come on
oh,
now. Like,
come
really?
on, come on. Like I, like I said about my grandma, girl, if you didn't want to go to breakfast, you could have just said that.
Right. We ain't had to go.
We had to
We
go.
could have just went straight to the place. That's cool. But you just up and just kick the bucket on me?
You just
You could at least warn me. You could have told me something.
something
But nah, you just want to leave out all peacefully.
peaceful. Reading a book. The glass is still on.
The audacity.
The
for you.
audacity.
Girl. But I think in our friendship, it's good that we're able to have these conversations.
Yeah.
And know that we can depend on each other, like to be that shoulder to cry on, that ear to listen,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
that
that hug when
space.
we needed it.
Yes, that hug, that space, that safe space,
Mm-hmm.
and that brave space.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't get that for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So just being able to do that, I think that's something good to have in all friendships, relationships, or whatever the case may be. But we try not to use our tissue today. But you see what happens.
Buckets of water.
Right.
Buckets of water. But like Kelsey said, it's good that we have created a space for each other to have those moments where we boo-hoo cry. Because I'll call Kelsey and cry in a minute. Or I'll be like, so it's important to, like, when you think about friends and people in your life, you need to have people in your life that you can go through all types of seasons with. Like your happy seasons, your grieving seasons, your low points, your high points, all around. Like, we are multi-purpose friends. Like, we could go out together, we can pray together, we can cry together, go to church. Sure, we can sleep together. Not sleep like that.
Not like that.
Not like that.
Y'all should have seen us in undergrad trying to share a twin extra large bed.
Listen,
sleepovers.
Like a friend that you can call up, like when you just need a moment to vent. Make sure they have the capacity to be there for you at that moment. But you need a person, not only friends, but your partner, anybody. I hope that everyone has that person that they can go to and lean on in
Mm-hmm.
times like that, because it's important. Because I know a lot of people say, I don't need nobody, I'm good by myself. No, in this life you need people,
You at least need one
at
person.
least one person. And don't
Mm-hmm.
feel like you have to be strong,
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like you have to be the one that has it all together, nothing breaks you down. Like, have those people that you are safe to feel vulnerable with,
Mm-hmm.
and those people that when you feel the lowest of the low and that grief monster hit you, you can call them and they can offer whatever you need, whether that's silence,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's a person to vent to, the person to give you an encouraging word, a hug, anything that you need in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest finding that person in your life to do that with, for sure.
And I will also add just something quick, just like understanding that you can't force something out of someone. So just
Mm-hmm.
being understanding of letting them know, like, hey, you may not feel like talking right now, but just know that when you're ready,
Mm-hmm.
not when I'm ready and I ask you, but when you're
You're ready.
ready to talk or whatever, I am here to listen. So
Right.
just letting them know, like, that door is always open when they're ready and providing that space for them.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So today was a heavy topic. We cousins for real now, because y'all done see me cry.
Yes.
And I don't do that.
And I done told part of my story, and I don't tell that to everybody.
No.
So not too much. That's all y'all gonna get.
Okay.
Not too much.
So we're cousins for real now. But we hope that this episode kind of sheds a light on just us. And like that's about as raw as you can get.
I done got a headache now.
Okay. Then got the head thumping. Um but one thing I want to leave with y'all is that, like we said, grief is inevitable in this life, but you're not alone with
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, don't feel like you're alone. It seems lonely in the moment and as you're going through, but you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
With this, it's heavy, it's ugly. Don't feel like you have to have it all together, or anything. And if you know someone who's grieving, give them grace. Like, you may think it's something that they should just get over and be okay with. I don't care if it was 1 month or 2 years or 30 years or whatnot. You can't, tell anyone how to feel or how to grieve someone. So
Mm-hmm.
giving people grace and space to feel how they feel, and
Mm-hmm.
don't make them feel guilty about it.
Right. And I would just add, talk to someone, whether
Mm-hmm.
that's talk to someone you trust.
Yes.
Whether that's a friend, family member, shoot, sometimes a stranger,
Mm-hmm.
um, therapist.
Jesus made therapists too. So for all
Mm-hmm.
my Christian folk, okay, yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
can go to God in prayer,
Mm-hmm.
but God created therapists as well to give us the tools that we need to navigate.
Yep.
Shout out to my therapist, Miss Kimberly. I love you.
So we hope that you all enjoy this conversation. And although it was a heavy one, but we
Mhm.
feel it was very necessary.
Mhm.
We feel that everyone who's watching could relate in some way. So be sure to leave some comments in the chat, whether that's telling us how you, maybe when you feel like you're having a moment, how you cope with that moment. Like, what do you
Mhm.
do in that moment? Do you just take time to just like feel it, go through the motions? Do you maybe listen to something that reminds you of them to maybe, just bring a little smile to your face or
Yeah.
something? Just drop it in the chat, whatever it may be. And we hope that you will join us for another episode of Couch Conversations. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, tell your friends, to tell another friend, to tell the other friend, to tell your family.
Tell your homegirl.
Yes. Don't forget to follow us on all social media. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We also have Spotify.
Spotify.
So make sure you find us. And we'll catch y'all next time. Bye.